Alright, hello YouTube. David Kenobi here, making this video in honor of Ninhab8, who wants to join World of Warcraft, but wants a character creation video. Okay, so I'm gonna do a brief run-through of races and classes. I made a video before this, but it was mainly a lore video, just got to that point. Alright, so these are orcs. They have 4 racial abilities. Enrage, which increases damage. Well, this is, yeah, racial abilities. Resistance to stun effects, which I guess just lowers stun, like, abilities from other characters and NPCs. Damage done by pets increased. It's a pet. Pet. Unholy Death Knights get pet. Alright. Increased expertise with axes and fist weapons. Yes, they are the best warriors in the Horde. Alright, so I'm going to run through their classes real quick. Warrior. Roll tank damage. Tank is pretty much, they just take the damage, and they have special abilities to make sure that they don't die. And damage, I guess you can pretty much guess what that is. I'm saying guess way too much. I feel stupid. Heavy armor. Mail and plate, they start off with mail, but at level 40 they gain the proficiency to use mail. Deals damage with melee weapons, like I said. Well, warriors are warriors, so not really going to go anywhere. Has 3 stances with different benefits. You can go make a warrior and figure those out yourself. Uses rage as a resource. Rage, pretty much, there are certain attacks that build up rage and certain attacks that use up rage. Hunter. Now, hunters only have the damage ability. Wear medium armor. They start off with leather, and at level 40 gain the proficiency of mail. Now, emphasis on range damage and traps. If you're a hunter, don't go into melee combat. Just bad idea. Don't do it. Don't you dare. Alright. Gains beasts of your choice as lifelong companions. Pretty much they have a spell called Tame Beasts. You can go up to any beast in the world and tame it, and it fights for you from there on until you feel like releasing it. And good at leveling and soloing. Oh, that's something I haven't seen there before. And is a complete and utter lie. Okay. Yeah, cause the pets can tank, so you can kind of solo. It's kind of okay, but Beastmaster is kind of a leveling spec. I don't really trust that analogy for it. I wouldn't use good at, but, not my decision. Alright, rogues. These are pretty much, if you want to say ninja, that'd be okay. Roll, only damage, medium armor. They only ever use leather. They don't gain mail. So, yeah. Wields a weapon in each hand. They can only use one-handed weapons. You don't ever see a rogue with like a 2-handed sword or an axe or anything. Only 2-handed weapons. Emphasis on stealth, poison, and control. Pretty much like one of the rogue abilities at low level is to go stealthed, so no enemy can see you unless you like run right into them. Poisons, you get that, and control, it's pretty much crowd control, which like stops an enemy from attacking you altogether. Build up to 5 combo points to unleash finishing moves. Combo points are pretty much, you attack and you build up a combo point, and there's one attack where you just unleash all those combo points, so if you use them right, it's a pretty good attack. Uses energy as a resource, yeah, so, oh wait, that's right. For some reason they don't mention the resource on hunters. Yeah, hunter's resource is focus. Rogue's resource is energy. These two are pretty much alike because they only ever get 100 of their resource, and it also goes down. It's already there, and you just use it up, and it just builds back up on its own. Warlock. This is a mana-using class. Roll damage. Haven't hit any healers yet. You have one healing class, wow. Just noticed that. Wear light armor, cloth, they don't get anything else. Summons demons as servants, so it's pretty much a hunter pet, except it's demonic. You know, that little guy right there, it's called an imp. You get more as you level. A shade, fell warrior, some chick with a whip, I don't know where that came from. Emphasis on curses, drains, and damage over time spells. Curses being dots, damage over time, drains, pretty much it's a spell that's channeled and you pretty much take life or do damage like that. And damage over time spells, another dot. Holy crap, really? You gotta be kidding me. I wasn't idle that long. Yep, that's my hunter. I have like 6 other guys. Oh, fuck. Okay. Where was I? Warlocks. I can't stand that hair color. Did they change skin color yet? No, they didn't. Alright, can consume a soul shard for special abilities. They pretty much conjure that up. It's an ability you learn in the game. And uses mana as a resource, I already mentioned that. Mage, another mana resource. The first Mage is a new class for orcs. Don't really know too many new classes, but I know this one. Mages only do damage, no healing. Wear light armor, cloth. Deals frost damage, fire damage, and arcane damage. So you can pretty much figure out what arcane is. It's magic, period. Can polymorph enemies or freeze them to the ground. Polymorph is pretty much one of my favorite spells of a mage is to turn someone into a sheep. Aha. Can teleport to cities and conjure food and water. Teleport to cities, you can either make a portal or just teleport yourself. Pretty cool. Food and water, it's pretty much you conjure up a table, and if you use it in a certain amount of time, you regain mana and health. That actually does a lot when you get to like 85, which is the top level. And uses mana as a resource. Shaman, the last mana user of an orc. Now, this was the original, like, lore-wise, this was the original class of an orc other than warrior. They are the orc's only healer, but they also do damage. You know, when you spec for them, it says they have a tanking spec. Don't believe it. Medium armor, leather, they gain mail, and they can use shields. One of 2 races that can use shields. I mean, not 2 races, 2 classes. Invokes the power of the 4 elements. You can pretty much figure that out. Uses totems to buff, heal, or deal damage. So you pretty much just click on something, like over here, somewhere around there. And you summon a totem. You have to learn the abilities from trainer. Temporarily enchants weapons with spells. I'll let you figure that out for yourself if you make a shaman. And uses mana. Death Knight. The class added with Wrath of the Lich King. Death Knights were originally the Lich King's servants, but broke free in the starting area. Now, they are tanks in damage, although they do not use shields. I don't know. Oh, I just noticed orcs only have 2 tanking classes as well. Only use heavy armor. They start off with plate because they start off at level 58 and level from there. Well, level 55, actually. Start at level 55, says it right there. Former servants of the Lich King. Combine melee combat with spells, diseases, and undead minions. Yes, if you spec Unholy, you get an undead minion. Use runes and runic power as resources. Pretty stupid, I don't care. Alright, that's all the orc classes. I'm just gonna keep going now. Undead. Undead are pretty much just undead. They're called Forsaken because there's a bigger group of undead called Scourge, which are evil. These guys are slightly good. Racial abilities. Can remove fear, sleep, and charm. May consume corpses to regain health and mana. Pretty much, if you kill a organic enemy, they can eat it and regain health. Pretty self-explanatory, I guess. I don't know why I said it. Underwater breathing increased. I have tested this out. Yes. When you go underwater, well, yes, it works. When you go underwater, you have a certain amount of breathing ability. Like, you can breathe for only a certain amount of time. And that's prolonged a bit with Forsaken. Resistance to shadow damage. That kind of goes along with the whole undead scene. And they have one extra class, minus the shaman. Undead get priests. Priests are healers and damage, depending on how you spec. Wear light armor, cloth. Heal damage with holy magic. Guess you can get that from the priest thing. Cause damage with shadow magic, if you spec for that. And use mana as a resource. Moving on. The Tauren. Now, Tauren can be warriors, paladins, which I will explain in a minute, hunters, death knights, shaman, priests, and druids. So far, the most classes we've seen. We'll see races with more. Racial abilities. Can use Stomp to stun nearby enemies. Pretty much a waste of time. Maximum health increased. I don't know why. It's just there. Herbalism skill and speed increased. Herbalism is pretty much you pick up flowers across the world and you sell them and people buy them. Like actual players buy them. I don't know why. Resistance to nature damage. These guys are pretty much naturalists. And yeah, that kind of goes along with them. If you related them to a Minotaur, you'd pretty much be correct, but they're called Tauren, so don't call them Minotaur if you actually play the game. Two new classes, Paladin and Druid. Now, Paladins are pretty much priests, except they're more melee damage. Roll. Can tank, can heal, and can do damage. One of the few classes that can do all three. Can wear heavy armor, start off with mail, and go to plate, and use shield, as always. Righteous Vanquishers of Evil. Oh, it's just a lore thing. Lore for paladins. You know, you can be evil, you can be good. It doesn't really matter. Deals holy damage and melee damage. Pretty much the same thing. Once you actually get into the combat. Has a variety of defensive spells. If you spec for that, yes. Uses mana and holy power as resources. I really don't know where that holy power comes from. There's very little of it used since I've played a paladin, but I've only gone up to level 11 with him. Like, whoop. Druids. Druids, you probably heard of them. If you have, you probably heard of them as mystics and pretty much crazy people. Now, they can tank, heal, and do damage. Tauren get two classes that can do both of those. Wear medium armor, leather, don't go anywhere from there. Shapeshifts into animals. That's a pretty cool feature about them, about druids actually. A druid in this game uses nature damage and can control nature, which gives them the ability to turn into a cat for DPS or a bear for tanking. They can also turn into a cheetah to move fast on ground. A demonic walrus, as I like to call it, because it really doesn't have a name in the real world, to move quickly in the water. And they can also turn into bats and hawks to move fast in the sky. Pretty cool. Versatile, can fill a healing, tanking, or melee or caster role. Yes, they actually have casting abilities, so you don't always have to do damage as a cat or a bear. Uses mana, rage, or energy as a resource depending on form. Yes, in racial form they use mana, in cat form they use energy, and in bear form they use rage. So pretty versatile. I can't sit like this anymore. Trolls. We should probably go over this. Down here in the bottom left corner, there's skin adjustments, face adjustments, hairstyle adjustments, hair color adjustments, and for each race there's a different adjustment at the bottom. Like, he has facial hair, he has features, pretty much at the mouth. Like, if I change feature, his mouth changes. Facial hair, they also have horn, style, and color. Trolls. They have, well, I'm gonna get out of this. They have pretty much tusks. That's the only thing different from most races. Alright, trolls. They are one of the tallest races in World of Warcraft. They're pretty good at hunters. Being hunters, yeah. Racial abilities. Berserker, whatever. I don't feel like reading tonight. Increases attack and casting speed. Let me check the time, okay. Regeneration increased. Yeah, if you look at troll lore, they can cut off an entire limb and it'll grow back by the morning. Pretty cool. Increased critical chance with throwing weapons and bows. Yeah, they are probably the best hunters on the horde, if you want. Reduced duration of movement impairing effects. It might go along with the orc stun impairing effects. I don't know. Roll damage. They do not heal. Wait, what am I doing? Okay, whatever. Every class we've gone over already that they have. They have the most classes to choose from in World of Warcraft. Warrior, Hunter, Rogue, Priest, Druid, Warlock, Mage, Shaman, and Death Knight. Druid is new. I don't know about the others. Blood Elves. These guys, lore-wise, are addicted to magic. They will do anything for magic. That's why they're called. And that's why they have green eyes. They went to fell magic. Alright, their only thing is facial hair, so don't really have to worry about anything special in these guys. Racial attributes. Enchanting skill increased. You can pretty much guess that's a magical thing. These guys are magical people, you know, like that. Can restore resources such as mana or energy. They have a special ability that does that. You can test that out for yourself. May silence nearby opponents. I really don't know what that is, actually, and I have a Blood Elf. Resistance to arcane damage. You know, magically addicted. Probably resistance to it, too. Just to mention, we've gone through pretty much all the classes, so I'm not going to go through any others, because it'll just be repetitive. Although, did I go through? Yeah, I went through everything. Goblin, the newest race of the Horde, came in with the Cataclysm. These guys have ear selections. Okay. Can rocket jump forward, which is pretty much a rocket pops up out of their ass and propels them forward. Can launch a rocket at enemies. Pretty simple move, very bad damage. Bad as in not much. Doesn't really do anything. You can do it if you want, but I don't use it. Receives vendor discounts, yes. Goblins are penny pinchers. So they get bargains with vendors. This is pretty much, can periodically summon a personal bank. Again, penny pincher. Haste increase, that's pretty much an attribute if you want to attack faster. I'm a hunter, my main, and it's pretty useful. Alchemy, skill, and potion healing increased. That's pretty good. I don't care. Yeah. These are pretty much the most unexpected not unexpected, expected race of the Horde, because they have been allies of the Horde even in neutrality for all of Warcraft 3 and World of Warcraft itself. Alright, on to the Alliance, the faction that I hate. We'll start off with humans. One of the newest races on Azeroth that are native to the planet. Orcs aren't from Azeroth. Neither are Draenei. Go over them later. Increased spirit, that's an attribute for like like magical damage dealers. Bonus to reputation gains. Now, as you go throughout the world of Warcraft, you will find that there are different factions. You can gain reputation with them. I guess they get a increased amounts of reputation gained depending on how you gain reputation with that faction. Increased expertise with swords and maces. Yes, it's pretty simple. Don't want to go over that. Can break out of speed, altering, and trapping effects. Okay. Dwarves. Now, these are kind of the oldest race in Azeroth, if you want to call them that, but they were asleep for a while, like literally dormant. They were stone, and then they went dormant, and then they got a thing they call the disease of flesh, which gave them flesh. And they awakened sometime after humans took power in most of the Eastern Kingdoms. Now, may take on a stone form. That does something, buffs you for like 30 seconds. Just makes you a stone, so I guess they can reverse the spell, the disease of the flesh for a couple of seconds. Increased critical chance with guns. Okay, so they are the best hunters on the Alliance. Humans probably being the best warriors, kind of, you know. The Alliance isn't really a warrior race, so if you want to go warrior, go horde, please, beg you. Yeah, they're pretty good with guns, technology, you know, that whole scene. Pretty much the nerds of the Alliance. Horde has goblins. Yay. Resistant to frost damage. Yes, as you can see in the background, they start off in a very cold environment. So that kind of gives them heads up on cold or frost damage. Find additional archaeology fragments and survey faster. Yeah, it's like a secondary profession. You can do that yourself. I'm not going to go into professions right now. I want to make this video short, although I'm probably going to have to make a second one. Increased expertise with maces. So if you want to be a paladin, kind of start off with a mace, so yeah. The Night Elf. One of the oldest races in Azeroth. Although the Pandaren are right next to them in that, and possibly the Tauren, no one knows. They are the naturalists of the Alliance. Used to be the only druid race, like, now there's Worgen. Oh wait, yeah, never mind. Alright, so, racial abilities. May fade into the shadows. You click on it, you pretty much stand in place, and you're invisible. Simple. More difficult to hit. I don't know what that is. I don't really know what that means. Wisp while dead for faster movement. Yes, they turn into a little ball of like energy while they're dead, as a spirit to get back to their bodies. Resistance to nature damage. Like I said, they're the naturalists of the Alliance. And faster movement while stealthed. That's pretty much for rogues. No one else. Well, druids in cat form can stealth. These Red Elves have like one of the only hot races on the Alliance. Second by humans and Draenei. Not in that order of my clicking. Gnomes. The most annoying fake race in Azeroth itself. They start off in the same area as dwarves. May escape from speed, altering effects. Pretty self-explanatory. Increased mana pool. Yes, that's a pretty good point to. That's something pretty good to point out. Mana users do not have 100 mana. They have as much mana as your spirit and intellect gives you. Which kind of sucks for the part of a hunter or a rogue. Engineers. Engineering skill increased. That's a profession. So, yeah. Get a bit more engineering in there. with a gnome. They are the brainiacs of the Alliance along with dwarves, but they don't get anything for engineering, stupid dwarves. They're less stupid than gnomes. Increased expertise with daggers and small swords. Well, you can see how they're very small. The only class in all of World of Warcraft today that don't have Hunter. You can guess why and be racist about it. I won't scrutinize you for it. Draenei, for some reason this guy has a goatee and I have to change that. Yes, thank you. Draenei, tail things. In their language of Iridar, Draenei means exile. Increased jewel crafting skill increased, as you can see from their background, a lot of jewels and shiny things. Shiny. May heal self or others over time. I have no idea what that is. I have never made a Draenei. Chance to hit with melee and spells increased. They are melee caster. They are pretty good in melee combat. They also trust in the light a lot. So they're pretty good paladins and priests. If you want a priest or a paladin, go to a Draenei. Resistant to shadow damage. I have no idea where that comes from, actually. Don't ask me. Worgen. Worgen are pretty much human, as you can see from this. See right here. They had a curse which turned them into the feral Worgen. And the whole storyline is played out in the starting area. They have no capital city. Just like the I don't know. They're the only ones without an official without even an unofficial capital city. Can periodically move quickly. Yes, they have an ability that makes them go feral, and they move faster for about 10 seconds. Critical chance increased. Self-explanatory. Resistance to nature and shadow damage. Don't ask me, because I don't know. Skinning skill and speed increased. Wow, that's kind of cannibalism for a Worgen to have skinning. And speed increased. Speed of skinning. Worgen are also their own mounts. So, if you're not exalted with any other race of the Alliance, you can mount up and on yourself and just go on all fours and run. Okay, I'm not gonna read the lore right now. And that is all the races of World of Warcraft. Now, let me see if I can fit this in the last 2 minutes. Orcs. Their classes are Warrior, Hunter, Rogue, Warlock, Mage, Shaman, Death Knight. Undead have Warrior, Hunter, Rogue, Priest, Warlock, Mage, Death Knight. Tauren have Warrior, Paladin, Hunter, Priest, Druid, Shaman, and Death Knight. All races have Warrior and Death Knight. Trolls, again, Warriors, Hunter, Rogue, Priest, Druid, Warlock, Mage, Shaman, Death Knight. They have the most classes of WoW. Blood Elves have Warrior, which is their newest class, Paladin, Hunter, Rogue, Priest, Warlock, Mage, and Death Knight. Goblins have Warrior, Hunter, Rogue, Priest, Warlock, Mage, Shaman, and Death Knight. Worgen have Warriors, Hunters, Rogues, Priests, Druids, Warlocks, Mages, and Death Knights. The Draenei. They have Warriors, Paladins, Hunters, Priests, Mages, Shaman, and Death Knights. No, I'm not gonna make it. Alright, so I'll go through the gnomes, night elves, dwarves, and humans later. Bye, guys.